And as you will see, go ahead and accept the recording on your end and we'll dive into practice. So thank you all again so much for being here this morning. It's great to start the conference off in a centered and grounded place, and I am very humbled and honored to be here with you this morning. As we settle into our practice, go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seat. You can perch upon a cushion if that feels right for you, or maybe just seated cross-legged on your mat. We will start with a few grounding breaths, so allow yourself to drop into the body and drop into the breath. If it's helpful for you to place a hand on the belly to start to feel that inhale and exhale moving into the body, or you can simply allow the hands to rest on your thighs. Maybe allow the eyes to close. Start to step away from the distractions around you, letting go of everything that you brought with you onto your mat. Set that by your side, and letting go of everything that you'll step into when you leave your mat. Allowing your body to find stillness, noticing simply the rise and fall of the inhale and exhale. And as our body sets into stillness, we can offer the mind the same, letting our mind drop into that awareness of the breath, watching the rise and fall. We don't yet need to modify or shift the breath in any way, but simply bear witness. Watch the natural rhythm. You might notice that the longer you sit here in stillness, the deeper the breath becomes. We'll take 2 more long breaths here. And before we open up practice into movement, I would like to take just a brief moment, knowing that we are reaching all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast and beyond. We are all in different places, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. We are all in various ways affected by the changing tides here in our country and across the world. With the West Coast being so hot, and I know that we've got a lot of people that we reach out on the West Coast, just holding them a little dearer in our heart this morning. Knowing that our own self-care is really what brings brightness and healing into the world. And so we've all given ourselves these next 45 minutes for an opportunity of self-care, and we can bring gratitude forward for that. We can bring grace, compassion. And as we begin practice, we know that as we build our own bodies, our minds, and our spirits towards a healthy place, that we send that merit out into the world, helping support not only our other humans, but our planet at large. And so I invite us as we move through practice to allow some of that gratitude and compassion to fill every cell of the body, taking our movements with grace, non-judgment, and self-love. And with our next inhale, we'll allow our arms to rise to the sky, reaching our fingers up towards the heavens, opening through the chest. And on our exhale, we'll press the hands down by our sides, reaching out behind us, interlace the knuckles. Press the knuckles towards the earth and let the next inhale bring your chest to the sky, lifting through heart center. On the exhale, allow the hands to float out to the sides. We'll bring backs of the hands together and pull that belly in with a full deep exhale. From here, interlace the fingers, palms rise to the sky, reaching the palms up towards the heavens. Long inhale here. Exhale, pressing the hands down by our sides, interlacing at the knuckles, pressing those knuckles down towards the earth as the chest rises to the sky, taking a long inhale. Allowing that next exhale to seep out of the body as the arms float out in front, pressing the backs of the hands together, and then emptying the body of breath, bringing that belly button in, long exhale. One more time, interlace the fingers, palms rise to the sky. Lift the chest with a big inhale. On the exhale, allow the hands to press down by your sides, interlacing behind the body, knuckles pressed towards the earth. With our next inhale, chest rises, opening heart center. On the exhale, allow the hands to float out front. Backs of the hands come together. And then a full deepening of that exhale as we empty the body of breath. Letting that natural inhale come in with gentleness and grace as we sit up nice and tall, hands resting on the knees. Lengthening through the spine, making contact with that central channel, sits bones grounded into the earth, rising up through the center of the body and out the center of the head. Moving through seated cat and cow as our chest rises up front on the inhale. And with our exhale, we create space between the shoulder blades. You can take this as shallow or as deep as you feel is right this morning. Maybe just a slight flexion and extension is what your body's looking for. Maybe taking it a little bit deeper. We're going to add a gentle spiraling here as we move into the hips. So we'll roll to one side of the body, grounding one sits bone down into the earth, and then opening the chest out front, rolling to that other sits bone, and then creating space between the shoulder blades. So we're taking this spiraling flexion and extension a little deeper into the body. Again, we're incorporating hips, belly, shoulders, and maybe even allowing a gentle and natural rise and fall of the neck and gaze as we move in a spiral here. And we'll take one more. Going nice and slow, we'll change directions. Allowing this movement to be a little organic. There's no right or wrong here. Just listen to what your body's asking for. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center. We'll let that right arm rise up towards the sky. Left hand is going to land on the earth next to us. We'll arc over here. Bicep traces over ear as we reach through the fingers, pressing the sits bones down into the earth. And with our next inhale, slowly coming back to center, and we'll change sides. Left arm rises up, right hand presses down into the earth, and we arc over. Letting that bicep trace right over ear, keeping both sits bones pressed into the earth, and we breathe into the side body. And from here, slowly making our way back to center. If you are seated up on a cushion, go ahead and set that to your side. We're going to bring our feet directly out in front. Toes reach up towards the sky. We'll get right on top of those sits bones, and on our inhale, bringing the kneecaps back towards you, lifting the heels up off the floor, engaging through the belly, sitting up nice and tall, starting to build a little warmth in the legs, feeling the body wake up a little bit, and then on the next inhale, the arms are going to rise up. Reaching the fingers up towards the sky, engage through the belly, pull those toes up high, and on our exhale, gently allow the heels to land on the earth. We're going to come to the front and sides of the sits bones and throw the fingers way out over the toes. Allow yourself to drop into a gentle forward fold. Letting the hands land naturally on the legs, maybe up by the knees, maybe down by the ankles. And with our next inhale, we'll lengthen through the spine, letting the gaze come out over the toes. And on the exhale, we'll allow ourselves to fall forward. Gaze drops to the knees, sits bones continue to roll out behind us. We'll breathe here, allowing a gentle rise and fall of the body with each inhale and exhale. And with your next inhale, slowly make your way back to center. We're going to place our hands directly behind the body, fingertips facing the mat. On the inhale, we're going to lift the pelvis, pointing the toes towards the earth. Lifting through the back of the body, engage through the glutes, rising the pelvis up. And on the exhale, gently lowering back down. Arms come to the sky, and we fold forward. Again, continue to roll those sits bones out behind you. You're welcome to allow the knees to stay bent as we fold forward here. Gaze is down towards the knees. We'll take one more long inhale. And allow your next breath to slowly bring you back to center. We'll take our time here coming onto hands and knees. In your home practice, you're welcome to place an extra blanket or cushion under the knees if that feels right for you. Palms will be directly below shoulders, knees directly below the hips. We'll find ourselves in tabletop. Feel that belly pull up and away from the earth, a nice neutral spine, pressing down. Sits bones are rolled slightly up so that we can find that neutral spine here. Letting the gaze simply fall to the space between the hands. We'll take one more long breath here. Strong, active posture. And gently shifting the weight onto the left knee, we'll kick the right foot out behind, press the toes into the earth, and open through the calf muscles. We're pressing out through that right heel. If you want to deepen the practice just a little bit, you're welcome to pick the left knee up off of the floor, engaging the belly. Strong modification for the core. We'll take one more breath here. And gently lower the knee if you had it raised. Shift your weight forward. Shoulders come directly above the wrists, and we'll lift that right leg up off the floor. Staying here or bringing your left hand out in front. Reaching through that right heel and through the left fingers, we find ourselves in bird dog. Again, holding that belly in nice and strong. So we're not sucking the belly button in. We're allowing the body to still take full inhales and exhales. We're just feeling the engagement of the core to help hold our balance. And on our exhale, we'll return to center. Finding strong tabletop. One breath. And then we'll shift our weight onto that right knee. We'll kick the left foot out behind, press the toes into the earth, and then shift your weight out that left heel. Breathing into the Achilles, breathing into the lower leg. Again, if you want that strength in the belly, you can lift the right knee up off the earth. And slowly lowering the right knee, we'll pick that left leg up. Nice and strong through the back side of the body as the right arm comes out in front. We want to think about getting that left leg potentially parallel with the mat. Really anything where that the toes leave the earth is totally fine. One more breath here. And on our exhale, we'll return to center. Go ahead and wag that tail. Let this organic movement come into the body. Rolling those hips from one side to the other. And slowly coming back into a centered still space. We'll keep the hips directly over the knees and walk those hands out towards the top of the mat. Eventually letting your forehead drop to the earth, we'll find an extended puppy. Continue rolling your sits bones up towards the sky. Pressing the hands down into the mat, keeping this active for the upper body, bracing through the armpits. We'll take one more breath here. And with our next inhale, gently rising back up, we'll walk the hands back to land underneath the shoulders, curling those toes under, and now find full downward dog as we lift our hips towards the sky. Allow those knees to stay bent here as we make our way into downward dog, maybe pedaling out one foot and then the other, shifting your weight from left to right. And with our next inhale, we're going to pick up the heels coming onto our tippy toes, turn the heels to the far right, and then press them down into the earth.
Noticing the lengthening along the left side of the body, all the way down that left leg, releasing through the IT band, down the side of the lower leg. And with your next inhale, we're going to lift the heels up again, coming onto the tippies, turn them to the left and press down into the earth. Feeling that stretch now run up the right side of the body. And with your next inhale, lifting the heels, we'll send them directly out behind us, finding downward dog. Trajectory is the heels towards the earth, but they definitely don't have to touch. Knees are soft. We can keep them bent or create more length in the body by pressing behind the knees. I want to keep the sits bones rolled up towards the sky, pressing into the hands. One more breath here. And on our exhale, gently bring the knees to the earth and find child's pose. While we're in child's pose, we can roll out the wrists, maybe turning palms to face up, maybe rolling those wrists in one direction and then the other. And with our next inhale, we'll make our way back on to all fours, finding tabletop just briefly, rolling sits bones to the sky, and press for downward dog. With our next inhale, we'll bring our gaze up in between the hands and we'll step the right foot forward. Staying down for a nice low lunge, one long breath here. Think about bringing the inner thighs towards one another, creating strength in the body. We don't want to just drop out through the pelvis. We want to try to get that right knee directly above the ankle. And we'll take one more breath here. And then slowly release the left knee down onto the earth, and we can release those left toes. Continue keeping the right knee directly over the right ankle. Left hand will press down as the right arm rises. Using the belly, wringing that belly out to help you twist. Let that motion come from the belly. Right fingers reach towards the heavens. Left palm presses towards the earth. Feeling that expansion of the wingspan. We'll take one more breath here. And on the exhale, gently unwind. We're going to curl those left toes under. Pressing through the back of that left knee, we're going to find plank. Tabletop is always an option. Using the strength of the belly, again, pulling that belly up and away from the mat. Pressing palms into the earth. We'll take one more long breath here. And on your exhale, find downward dog. Sits bones rise to the sky. Heels make their way towards the earth. Child's pose is always an option for downward dog as well. And with our next inhale, we'll bring our gaze up in between the hands and we'll step the left foot forward. We'll stay here in a low lunge, pressing through the back of that right knee, inner thighs coming towards each other. Left knee directly above the ankle. We can be on tippy fingers here, we can be on fists, or simply palms down. And from here, gently release that right knee to the earth and release the right toes. Keeping left knee directly above the ankle, we'll place the right hand down into the earth. Use the belly to twist. Left hand reaches for the sky. Let that motion come from the belly. Again, making contact with the length here from left fingers down to right palm. And on our exhale, gently unwind. We're going to curl the right toes under, find plank or tabletop. Belly pulls up and away from the mat. We press the palms into the earth. Engage the legs, the glutes, the belly. And then slowly press up for downward dog. Again, child's pose is an option here. Listen to your body, not mine. And we'll take one more long, deep breath. And from here, slowly walk the hands and feet towards one another, and we'll meet up in the middle of the mat, finding Uttanasana, full forward fold, rolling those sits bones towards the sky. We can interlace hands at the elbows and dangle the body here. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no. Maybe even slightly rocking from left to right, to grandfather clock. And with our next inhale, we'll come to center, placing the palms just below the knees. We'll lift for a flat back, gaze at the earth. Again, pull that belly up and away. Really find these moments to have strength in the core. Sits bones roll out behind you, long line from the tailbone out the center of the head. And on our exhale, we'll fold forward. One more long, beautiful breath here. And with our next inhale, we're gonna come to standing. I will offer a few different modifications here. Reverse swan dive, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Or if you still want to build a little bit of more heat in the body, we can find chair by sitting the hips down towards the earth as our arms rise up. Following this modification, we'll spend one breath here. And then engage those glutes to help you come up all the way. Reach the fingers towards the sky. Strong through the legs, strong through the bottom. And on our next exhale, we'll let the hands land down by our side. We'll take one long breath here. We're in Tadasana, or mountain pose, feeling the feet ground down into the earth. You can gently bring those heels and toes slightly closer together. That feels okay on your knees. Hands are dangling by our sides, lifting up through the center of the body. Letting the chin be parallel with the floor and feeling that length come up through the crown. Engaging through the inner thighs, engaging through the perineum, feeling that central channel strong, rising up and grounding down simultaneously. One more long breath here. And on the exhale, slowly release. You can stay facing this direction on your mat. I will turn to face you. We're going to shift our weight onto the right foot and bring the left foot to the ankle, somewhere around the knee, or maybe into the inner thigh. We just don't want to press right into that knee joint. From here, gently press the left knee out behind you. Soft through that right knee, but strong. So we don't want to be hyperextended or locked out. From here, our arms are going to rise to the sky, reaching the fingers up towards the heavens. Again, opening through that left knee as we gently press the left knee out behind us. One more long breath here, our nice strong tree. On the exhale, pressing the hands down by our sides, we'll bring the palms around the back of the body. You can either land them on your sacrum, you can hold elbows, or maybe come in a reverse namaste with the palms pressing into one another. We lift through the chest. We'll take one more long breath here. And on the exhale, gently unwind. We'll let that left leg come back down to the earth, feet about hip width apart, and we'll move through some really gentle hip circles. Moving one direction and then the other. And then finding center. We'll shift our weight onto that left leg. Right foot comes up again, maybe the ankle, maybe somewhere around the knee, just not right into that knee, or coming up to the inner thigh. Pressing the knee out behind us, strong in the glutes. That left leg is strong but buoyant. We're not hyperextended here. Hands come together at heart center. And as you feel ready, we'll let the arms rise up.
Reaching through those fingers. Again, find your strength here, checking in with that grounded sense of being. Settle the gaze. And from here, we'll let the hands come down by our sides. Nice and strong here, really pressing that abundance that we have down deep into the body as we bring our palms around back, landing on sacrum, elbows, or reverse namaste. Lifting through heart center. Allowing a posture like this to let that gratitude come forward, compassion come forward. And from here, slowly release. We'll let that right leg come back down onto the earth. And from here, we're going to bring our feet a little wider than hip width and create some big hip circles. Moving through nice and slow here, allowing the body to make contact with all of the nooks and crannies within the hips. We'll change directions. And slowly making your way back to center. We're going to bring our toes out to the corners of the mat. On a nice wide angle here. Arms are going to rise up. We'll find 5-pointed star. Reach through those fingers. Lift through heart center. Again, legs are straight but not locked here. And on our exhale, we'll drop into goddess. Coming down, opening through that chest. Nice and strong through the thighs. On our inhale, rise up. Find 5-pointed star. Lift that heart. Exhale down. We'll do 2 more here. Follow your breath. And with our next inhale, we'll stay right here in goddess, holding strong. Exhale, we'll bring right elbow to right knee as the left arm rises to the sky. Opening through the left pecs as the left fingers reach up. The right hand is strong here. Imagine that you've got a precious stone in this right hand. Hand is active. Left hand reaching. We'll bring our gaze to the sky. And with our next inhale, we'll find goddess. And with our exhale, we'll take it the opposite direction. Left arm comes down, right arm reaches. Again, as if you're holding something precious in that left hand. Reaching through right fingers. And with our next inhale, come back to center. Find goddess for 1 more deep breath. And on our exhale, slowly rise up. We'll heel to toe, walk those feet towards one another. We'll come up to the top of the mat, allowing your feet to stand about hip width. On our inhale, let the arms rise to the sky. From here, we'll bring palms together and we fold forward. Finding that full forward fold. With our next inhale, we'll place the hands just below the knees and lift up for a flat back. Gaze at the earth. On the exhale, fold forward. We'll step the left foot back and inhale up for warrior 1. We'll have the heel of the right foot in line with the instep of the left foot. Right knee stays bent. Use that belly to pull you up strong through the back of the body. Arms rise. Finding warrior 1. Pull that left hip just slightly forward. Right hip pulls back slightly, keeping those hips square. Reaching through the fingers, we'll take 1 more breath. And on our exhale, hands land on the earth. We'll step back for plank or tabletop. Coming down through knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga, keep the elbows in, lower to the earth. And we'll take a little baby cobra here. Release the toes, keep those elbows in. Heart center rises off the earth, gaze out in front. And on our exhale, we'll find downward dog. You're welcome to come up through tabletop, or you can come all the way up into downward dog, finding upward dog or plank. So lots of options for that transition. Listen to your body and your body's needs. And with our next inhale, we'll step the left foot forward, planting those feet for warrior one. Foundation is of most important for our asanas, so really press into the feet first, engage through the belly, and we rise up. Arms come to the sky. We allow these asanas to come through the body with both the mental cognition and also body and muscle memory. So as we drop into warrior one, then maybe we can make some micro adjustments. Listening to both body and mind here. One more breath. And on our exhale, hands will come to the earth. We'll step the right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale for a flat back. Exhale, we fold forward. And we'll rise to standing here. Maybe we come up with a reverse swan dive, or we roll up one vertebrae at a time. And we'll meet back up with hands at heart center. Long breath here. Inhale, arms rise to the sky, reaching through the fingers. Palms come to press into one another as we fold forward, creating space along the top of the shoulders as we come all the way down. On our next inhale, find a half lift. And then we fold forward. We'll step the right foot back. Again, find that warrior one. Come all the way up. Land into your posture, trusting the body here. And then notice if maybe that right hip needs to come forward. Or maybe the shoulders need to drop. Allow yourself to find your posture. And on the exhale, hands come down to the earth. We'll step back for plank. And from here, gently lower down. Inhale, find cobra. And exhale, find downward dog. With that next inhale, that right foot steps forward. We plant the feet, trust the body, rise up, find your warrior. One more long, beautiful breath here. And on the exhale, the hands drop to the earth. We'll step left foot forward to meet right. Find a full forward fold. And then a half forward lift. And then a full forward fold. Following that rise and fall of the breath. We'll take one more long breath here in Uttanasana. And from here, we'll gently bend the knees, lowering ourselves all the way down onto the earth. Come onto bottom, bring feet out in front, lower down onto the mat. And we'll find ourselves on our backs, laying flat on the earth. And from here, we'll bring that right knee in, giving the right knee a great big hug. And from here, we'll bring the right knee across midline. We just want to bring that knee across the belly button far enough that we feel a nice stretch down the outside of that right leg into that right hip, keeping both shoulders down onto the earth. Take one more breath here. And then slowly return back to center. Give that knee one more great big hug. And then we'll straighten the right leg down onto the earth. Left knee will come in. Bring that left knee in towards the chest. From here, we'll bring the knee across the body. Breathe here. And slowly return the knee back to center. And then we'll straighten the left leg down onto the earth. Arms come up overhead. We'll take a full body stretch here from fingertips to toes. And then slowly release, letting the hands come down by our sides. We'll bring the heels nice and close in towards the pelvis. So we're standing the knees. From here, we're going to walk our feet to the outer edges of the mat. So our feet are a little bit wider than hip width. We'll drop that right knee down towards midline. We're coming onto the big toe edge of the right foot. So that knee drops down towards midline, breathing through the quads, through the psoas, even into the belly. An option here is to bring that right arm up overhead. So we're reaching through right fingers and pressing through that right knee. Long, deep breaths here. And with our next inhale, we'll stand the right knee and bring the right hand back around, landing maybe on belly or just right by our sides. We're going to drop the left knee now towards midline, breathing through the quads, through the psoas, through the belly, and then the left arm rises up overhead. Again, feeling these long lines of the body here from fingertips down through the torso, across the hip, the quad, and down the knee. And with our next inhale, we'll stand that left knee back to center, bringing the hand back by our side. We'll walk the feet together here. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch, and then gently allow the knees to drop out to the left and right sides of the body. You're always welcome to grab for bolsters to place under those knees if that feels more restful for you. And hands can land on the belly, on the hips, or simply down by our sides with the palms facing the sky. Gently bringing the body into stillness as we slowly make our way towards our final posture. Giving the belly some awareness as we take long inhales and exhales. Gently allowing the eyes to close if they aren't there already. Maybe feeling the eyeballs become heavy. Dropping back towards the base of the skull, we'll place the tongue right behind the front two teeth, where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. This allows the jaw to be open and at rest. Maybe even the lips just slightly separated. Feeling a softness in the face. Unfurrow the brow. Breathing into forehead and temples. Cheeks are heavy. Ears become heavy as they make their way down towards the earth. With our next inhale, we'll gently bring that right knee back to center and then straighten the right leg down onto the earth. From here, we'll gently bring the left knee to center and then lower that left leg down onto the earth. Feeling that restfulness behind the eyes and across the face start to trickle down the body, allowing the tops of the shoulders to be down towards the earth, recognizing the backs of the hands landing down on your sides, allowing the palms to be open to the space around you. Making contact with that place where the sacrum meets the earth, holding the pelvis. And the heels landing down on the earth, allowing the toes to be floating in space. We allow the body here to settle into this place of stillness, letting the mind know that it can also rest in this place of stillness. recognizing that it's the job of the mind to create thoughts instead of attempting to clear the head and clear the mind. We just offer the mind a place to focus. So we'll bring our awareness deep into our belly. As we lay restful on the mat, we allow the mind to settle in on the belly, feeling the rise and fall of each inhale and exhale, maybe even becoming increasingly curious about this process of breath as we watch the inhale and exhale naturally rise and fall, naturally come and go. You can release any attempt to modify or shift the breath, and instead just simply watch. Again, noticing when the mind begins to focus on other thoughts. Maybe noticing a remembering of the past or a planning of the future. And with gentleness, grace, and compassion, we slowly bring the mind back into the breath. We can be grateful for the thoughts and just lay them by our side, bringing our focused attention back into witnessing the rise and fall of each inhale and exhale. And with your next inhale, bringing gentle movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and toes, rolling the ankles and wrists. We slowly start to welcome the body back into the space on our mat, in our room. And we allow our next inhale to bring us onto one side. Slowly rolling the body over, maybe knees come towards chest. And we'll use our next inhale to press up to a comfortable seated position. Allow the inhale of the body to help shift you back to an upright position. Finding something comfortable, either perched back upon your cushion or simply cross-legged on your mat. And with our next inhale, we'll let the arms rise to the sky. We breathe in our own abundance so that we can send it out into the world, offering gratitude and compassion for self, as well into all that we will meet, all of those that we will never meet, all walking, crawling, flying beings on the earth, and hands come to heart center. One more long inhale here. And I want to thank you all for being present. Enjoy your day.